Okay, team, I'd like to go over our battle plan for the first week of Ilearn testing. In the first week, we will be giving the math portion. Monday and Tuesday, we're going to be on our block schedules. And in the block schedules, the math teachers will be giving the math test to their classes. During those periods, our resource teachers will be running small groups, pulling out for accommodations, just as if you would be giving a test in your regular class. So we'll be running these two schedules on Monday and Tuesday, working on blocks. Sixth grade teachers, since you are already on blocks, you will get through all of your kids on the first day. If they need to run over to the second day, you can take multiple days on the CAP portion. On the performance task portion, it has to be completed on the same day. Now, this one's going to be a little different because sixth grade black has their field trip on Thursday. So sixth grade math teachers are going to give the performance task on Wednesday during their classes. Those blocks allow enough time for students to complete that. So all of sixth grade math will give this during their math classes. Seventh and eighth grade, you will be giving yours on Thursday. Now, you will have to do it in the fashion of that everybody gives the test during that testing window. So if you would look at the schedule for that day, it has what period you will be testing with for your performance tasks. So seventh grade, you'll be testing with your first period class. It'll be the block B class for sixth grade. And then eighth grade, you will need to go to your fifth period class for the performance task. Now, when we do this, we're going to have to move keyboards from classroom to classroom because some teachers have them and some teachers don't. So what I've done is I've provided you with a keyboard buddy that you will be sharing your keyboards with during these performance task days. So we got to be very diligent about getting them from one room to the other. You will receive an email with who your keyboard buddy is going to be when we have to move those around. So the fallout from that, with sixth grade also doing their PT on Wednesday, is that they will have probably about a 90-minute window to fill on Thursday. That's going to be up to you on how you would like to do that, since we're going to have to stay on that alternate schedule so that everybody else can catch up on the performance task. Then Friday, we have no testing scheduled. Hopefully makeups can get done during that time, and then that would be our plan for the whole first week. So like I said, keyboards, need to be very diligent with that, getting them back and forth, making sure that we're taking care of them and keeping track. Students do not have to use the keyboards, but we definitely want to have enough to offer them if they do want it. But that is student preference, but we want to encourage them to use those. The next thing that we're going to need to move on to and talk about would be the blue folders. The blue folders are going to be checked out of the bookstore in the mornings that you have testing. So make sure that you sign those out, and you're going to have to sign them back in at the end of the day. They are secure items, and so we'll collect them after every testing day. Within your testing folder, you're going to have a lot of different resources. You will have a schedule. You will have a documentation sheet. We really need to make sure that we're taking attendance, and that's going to help us with makeups. And anything that's like would be an irregularity needs to be documented. So you will have those in there, and you will also have a paper that has all your students' STN numbers. The student testing number is very different than their ID, and that's what they'll need to log in and test. So the other thing that will be in the folder is the test administrator's manual. In the test administrator's manual, we'll just go through this quickly. We do have a helpline that we can contact, but obviously we want to use all of our resources here first before we would need to call that, but every teacher will have that inside their manual. We have some instructions on how to log into the portal. If you've given the practice test, you are good to go, but we still have these in here just in case if you need a refresher on where to click. So those were created, when you go back and you pull up the section that you would like to assign the kids, you would need to click on the minus or the plus sign, the drop down box, and then assign them the test. But all of that is in there for you. Now the instructions are going to be a little bit different than in the past. They do provide you with a general set of instructions that mainly focuses on how to get the kids logged in. It's the new version of make your mark heavy and dark, because you're going to read the same stuff over and over before every test. But once you get to a certain point in the instructions, you'll see like a box at the bottom, and it'll say, say this if it's the English test, say this if it's the math test. So you just have to pay attention to what test you're giving. And like I said, everything before this is going to be the same. And then once you get to that section, make sure you're saying the correct things. You would continue on with the script, And then at the back of your packet, we're providing you with the testing in progress page. This is something that you really need to talk about amongst your teams, because if math is testing and everybody else is not, it's probably not a good time to be doing activities where kids are going to be up and being loud. Make sure if kids are in the hallway, they know it's a testing area and that people are going to be quiet. So that's the other side of teachers being able to test their subject. Everybody else needs to be aware that the kids are going to need to be quiet so everyone can focus. You could also post this in your classroom: no personal electronic devices. Nothing's going to get a test invalidated more quickly than a student walking in with a cell phone. So you can have that up. Please use that as a reminder. Finally, this is what the form would look like that we would need to fill out if a student's test needs to be invalidated. We will have that on there. This is something that I would complete, but I would probably end up filling that out with you. But hopefully we're not going to have to use this form, so we shouldn't even worry about it. A couple other good things that were brought to my attention prior or during testing and makeups is that when students complete a test, you need to make sure that they submit it. If they don't submit it correctly, it will just show that it's been paused and it has not been turned in. So make sure when a student shows that they hit submit once they've completed the test. Once students finish a test, they need to submit it. Then we should have them put their iPads away. You cannot let students play around on their iPad, because let's say another student in front of them is testing, they start taking pictures of it, that could be an issue. So better safe than sorry. Once a student submits their test, have them close the case on it, put it under their desk, have them read a book, draw a picture, anything of your choice. But I think we need to be aware that students shouldn't be taking pictures while others are testing. So I think better safe than sorry on that. And then another thing that has been brought to my attention is inactivity. If a student has not shown any activity on their test for 20 minutes, it will kick them out. You will be able to log them back in. Now, another thing that I've been told is this holds true for the teacher computer as well. So you need to make sure that you're showing activity in that 20-minute window, because if it kicks you out, it's going to kick all the students out as well, and then you would have to go through the process of re-logging them back in. So make sure that you're paying attention to that. I think that's it that I have for right now. If you do have any questions, please let me know. I think we're going to do a wonderful job with this, and you guys have been doing a great job preparing the students, and I can't wait to see what the scores are going to be. So best of luck.